pray for Doug.
We just know that there's a family in our community that needs us.
Tonight, the community once again rallies behind a family facing hardship and tragedy.
Gusty showers late Thursday. Even though we all need it, most of us are not getting a lot of rain out of this next system. What we're tracking and the changes coming for the weekend.
Tonight, Olympic hopefuls skating on home ice.
It's going to truly be epic.
The points St. Louis is hoping to score with the U.S. Figure Skating Championships.
We just have so much great opportunity to tell our story this week.
5 on your side at 10 starts now. First, our top story tonight, we're learning more about the St. Louis County mother killed in a wrong-way crash in North St. Louis County. A woman in another car also died. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. 3 others were hurt in the 2-car crash. It happened Friday night on Highway 367 near Chambers Road in North County. Tonight, 5 on your side's Robert Townsend talked to the family of the 22-year-old mother who lost her life.
It was supposed to be a routine ride home Friday night for 22-year-old Ariana Elliott, her cousin, 18-year-old Janae Richardson, and their 21-year-old friend, Shamaya Dyson. But in a flash, their lives took a horrific turn.
Now it hurts. It hurts really bad.
Ariana's family rushed to the scene in Moline Acres and learned from Missouri State Highway Patrol that a 21-year-old man in a Chrysler drove north on Highway 367 near Chambers Road, lost control of his car, crossed the yellow line into the southbound lanes, and crashed into Elliott's Mazda. The crash states Elliott's car hit the driver's side passenger door. She died at the hospital.
To hear my sister scream hurts, because there's nothing I can do to tell her I can bring your baby back.
Ariana's cousin, Janae Richardson, suffered several injuries, including 2 broken legs and a broken arm. Their friend, Shamaya Dyson, also remains in the hospital with multiple injuries, including a spinal injury.
Life-changing surgeries, but for both. Long road to recovery.
Investigators say a woman in the Chrysler also died. They also say the Chrysler driver was the only one who wore a seatbelt at the time of the crash.
You're not just driving for yourself, you're driving for whoever is in the car with you, and especially you're driving for the other people that's around you. So always just make sure that you're paying attention to.
A spokesman for the Missouri State Highway Patrol tells me right now their accident reconstruction team is still investigating the crash and looking for a cause. Meantime, Ariana Elliott's family cannot believe they're now preparing her funeral.
What are you doing in heaven? I want you to come back to life.
That's part of a letter written in part by Ariana's only child, her 5-year-old son, David.
There is no reason why her son is asking for her and asking when can heaven let her go.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Once the State Highway Patrol finishes its investigation, it will send its findings to the St. Louis County prosecutor for a final review.
Tonight, police are looking for the hit-and-run driver who killed a man in South St. Louis County. The crash happened around 6:30 Sunday night near the intersection of Vescovo Drive and Lemay Ferry Road. 48-year-old Brian Watkins of St. Louis was killed. Anyone with information on this crash is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS.
Now to the weather impact forecast. A mild January night across St. Louis. We made it into the mid-60s today. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's tracking one more sunny spring-like day before the rain and clouds move in.
You know, we are cooling off nicely tonight under that clear sky now that the winds are diminishing. We've dropped back to our low temperature for the day now at 46 degrees. Skies are going to stay mainly clear overnight. This air is dry, the wind's dying down. That means more likely than not a frosty start for us tomorrow. 46 now, but 68 was an awfully nice high temperature today. It starts chilly tomorrow, mid-30s in most areas for the low temperature. Then we expect to see plenty of sunshine, and we'll get back into the 60s again. As we go into Thursday, we have some gusty showers possible, especially later in the day. It's a big if on a severe threat. To be honest, there's a lot of things that would have to come together that just don't look like they are coming together. And overall, unimpressive rainfall totals with that as well. So enjoy tomorrow. It looks like it's going to end up being mostly sunny again, and we should be in the upper 50s to low 60s around lunchtime and into the afternoon hours. We'll check back with you in a few minutes. We'll track that system into the bi-state region.
Tonight, a student and an adult are recovering after a school bus crash in Troy, Missouri. A Lincoln County R3 school bus carrying 3 students and 2 staff members flipped over at the intersection of Highway V and Whippoorwill Trail. Video of the scene was provided to 5 on Your Side from Lincoln County Watch. The sheriff says a student and a staff member were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. It is unclear what led to the crash. Tonight, an outpouring of support for a St. Charles County family who has already suffered unimaginable loss.
In late 2024, 8-year-old Penelope Kate lost her battle with cancer. Since then, her father has worked to keep her memory alive. As Brent Solomon explains, he's been dealt another devastating blow.
Well, right now, people are flooding social media with requests to pray for Doug. Doug Herrenbrock was Penelope's father. She was known as PK before her tragic death. Those close to the family are now sharing online that they're now praying for a miracle.
Went to the pediatrician, took it from there, went to physical therapy, stuff like that, did 4 weeks of that.
That's Doug Herrenbrock speaking with 5 on Your Side in March of 2024, thanking the community for their support and praying for his then 9-year-old daughter PK. She went through an intensive fight after doctors found a tumor on her spine. On Thanksgiving of that year, the family announced the little girl gained her angel's wings.
We saw signs all over our community, pray for PK.
Desiree Walker owns Walker Family Farms in Florisdale, blocks away from the Herrenbrock family. She says she's gained strength following their heartbreaking loss.
They are the supporters of everybody else's cause. They have shown up for everybody else in our community.
Now the community is showing up for them through Pray for Doug posts now flooding social media. At the start of the year, a candlelight vigil in Doug's honor at St. Joseph West Hospital. A sudden medical condition finds loved ones praying for a miracle.
The amount of people that have come in here, we have joined hands, we have prayed over this family. We have gone to the house, we have gone over there, not on their property, just stopped and prayed.
She and her community are asking for others to do the same, knowing their strength in numbers.
We don't know what it's like to walk in your shoes, and we don't pretend to know, but make your needs known and we will meet those needs and we will find a way.
Brent Solomon, 5 on Your Side.
Within the last few hours, the St. Louis County Council discussed a plan to use RAM settlement funds to help fund the county's animal shelter. County Executive Sam Page is asking the council to approve more than $400,000. The majority of the funds would go towards food for animals at the shelter. The county's recently approved budget cut millions of dollars from the Public Health Fund. No vote was held tonight.
St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy has taken a second job. According to our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal, Chief Tracy will now serve as an educational consultant for the University of Missouri St. Louis. The 3-year contract will pay him $100,000 per year. Tracy's new contract with the city allows him to seek secondary employment. His police salary was decreased nearly $90,000 due to loss funding from a nonprofit which supplemented the chief's income.
We are now exactly 1 month away from the Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina, Italy. The opening ceremony is February 6th.
And with just 31 days to go, final preps are underway in the Olympic host cities. In Milan, workers racing against time to finish construction of the main ice hockey arena, but organizers promise all will be ready on time. And 5 on Your Side, of course, is your home to the Winter Olympics. The 17 days of ceremonies and competition run February 6th through the 22nd.
And tonight, the Olympic action is here in St. Louis. Team USA will be decided on the ice at Enterprise Center.
The U.S. Figure Skating Championships get underway tomorrow, and hours ago, 5 on Your Side's Melanie Johnson heard from city leaders on their plans to keep athletes and thousands of fans safe.
An economic boom, the icing on the cake for die-hard U.S. figure skating fans like Emily Hellwig.
I figure skated when I was a kid. I've loved figure skating all my life. It's just a passion of mine.
The longtime skater will be among an estimated 60,000 fans packing the Enterprise Center for the Olympic Championship trials this week.
Big time events come to St. Louis. It is big for the city.
St. Louis is the first step to the podium in Milan.
U.S. figure skating CEO Matt Farrell joining St. Louis city leaders Tuesday.
Is it going to truly be epic?
Announcing a win for the Gateway City. Millions of dollars, including $1 million in tax revenue, on the way.
This event is expected to have an economic impact of $20 million right here, direct spending of $14 million in just 1 week in our downtown community.
Police also beefing up patrols for the Winter Games, going until Sunday, stretching to downtown West.
We will have people visible. We'll have people that are in the areas that they need them to be. We'll have plainclothes police officers that'll be out here to make sure that we're watching things not just at a uniform presence, but outside of uniform presence.
The U.S. Figure Skating Championships has St. Louis putting bids in to bring even bigger games to downtown St. Louis.
The 2028 World Cup of Hockey, which we're making a great push for as well. Later this summer, we're going to be submitting several bids for future NCAA championships.
An opportunity coming with a gold standard for what's to come, and from an Olympian who will always call St. Louis home.
Here you have an opportunity to see the best athletes in the world.
In St. Louis, Melanie Johnson, 5 on your side.
And tickets are still available for the many sessions at Enterprise Center, and we have a link in the As Seen on TV section on KSDK.com. And later in sports, Frank Cusimano will talk to one skater who's back on the ice and dreaming of Olympic gold after taking 2 years off.
Well, we are still more than a month away from the Mardi Gras parade in Soulard, but the party got started tonight. The 12th night celebration was held at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. It is the official kickoff of the 47th Mardi Gras season in St. Louis.
January and February can be really long months, but we have 12 events coming up over the next 6 weeks, designed so that there really is something for everyone.
This year, the mayor's Mardi Gras Ball returns to City Hall. It will benefit the city's Tornado Response Fund. The Mardi Gras season will culminate with the Bud Light Grand Parade on February 14th.
The high cost of health care getting even higher.
Some of them may have already dropped their coverage.
Tonight, the options for millions of Americans facing a tough choice. Burger bust. The St. Louis favorite pumping the brakes on some of its drive-ins.
Wednesday seems like a burger and milkshake kind of day, but big changes are coming heading into the weekend. We are tracking shower chances for Thursday and a blustery start to our weekend.
New developments tonight in the U.S. raid on Venezuela and the arrest of its president. Just hours ago, President Donald Trump announced Venezuela is set to turn over 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to the U.S. The president says the oil will be sold at its market price and will benefit both the people of Venezuela and the United States. The country holds the world's largest crude reserves.
We have a consumer alert tonight about inaccurate information being circulated online, steering Missouri drivers in the wrong direction. The Missouri Department of Revenue blames artificial intelligence. Reports claim the state no longer requires vehicle inspections and has expanded vehicle registration options, giving drivers more time. State officials say Missouri law has not changed and the requirements remain unaltered. Tonight, millions of Americans are facing tough choices when it comes to their health care.
With enhanced subsidies now expired, they may find the Affordable Care Act is even less affordable. With open enrollment still open, Ivan Rodriguez breaks down your options.
Extending the Affordable Care Act's enhanced premium subsidies has been at the center of several battles on Capitol Hill in recent months. Now that they've expired, millions of Americans will have to make an important healthcare and financial decision.
As of January 1st, millions of people saw that their premium payments are going up. Some of them may have already dropped their coverage. Other people may have tried to switch from, say a silver or gold plan to a bronze plan, which would have a much higher deductible, but might keep their premium low enough that they could afford to stay insured.
Enhanced subsidies made Obamacare coverage much more affordable, which helped draw a record 24.3 million people to sign up for 2025 policies. Cynthia Cox is a senior vice president for KFF, a nonpartisan health policy research group. She says enhanced premium tax credits allowed lower-income Americans to enroll in policies with $0 or near $0 monthly premiums, while those in the middle class became eligible for help for the first time. Cox says 4 out of 5 consumers were able to find 2025 plans for $10 or less a month.
Starting January 1st, lower income people have to pay 2 to 4% of their income. Higher income people might have no cap on how much they have to spend. They might have to pay full price, which could be 20-30% of their income.
Open enrollment ends January 15th in most states, meaning there's still time for people to shop for coverage before being automatically renewed into their same plan. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
The House is expected to vote sometime this month on the Democrats' proposal to extend the Affordable Care Act for 3 years. However, that effort faces significant hurdles in the Senate.
Tonight, several Metro East daycares are scrambling after learning the federal government is freezing nearly $10 billion in child care funding in 5 Democratic states, including Illinois. The Department of Health and Human Services says the freeze ensures federal taxpayer dollars are being used for legitimate purposes. The owners of an East St. Louis daycare tell 5 on Your Side a prolonged funding freeze could impact the families they serve.
People have to pay their bills. Parents have to work, staff have to do what they have to do.
It's a domino effect.
So it's gonna put different people in a position, especially the parents. If they come here and say, hey, the door's closed, and I don't think I'd do that. If I have to put them all together in one room.
The Illinois Department of Human Services says it is not yet to be notified by the federal government, but calls the freeze a, quote, another politically motivated action by the Trump administration.
Tonight, a popular St. Louis burger spot is turning off the grills and shake machines at 3 of its locations. The High Point Drive-In restaurants in Baldwin, Edwardsville, and O'Fallon, Illinois are now closed. The owners made that announcement on social media this afternoon, saying, quote, this was the hardest decision we've made to date, but a necessary one, so we can show up better for our people and our guests. 6 other locations remain open.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with the weather impact forecast. And Scott, looks like we could have some rain heading our way.
I think we have rain heading our way, but I don't think it's widespread as we were thinking last night. The trend now is for less amounts of rainfall and it being more scattered instead of being widespread. So what we're taking a look tonight is a place where all the action is going to be this week over at Enterprise Center as we watch a lot of ice skating and a lot of fun things going on. Tomorrow morning, there's no weather-related problems. The winds are calm. We're having mainly clear skies. We're in the 30s. It's probably a frosty start getting out the door tomorrow morning, but another warm afternoon, or at least mild. I'd say 63 is warm for this time of year. It's more than 20 degrees above average. So Wednesday, Thursday, still mild. By Friday, we start to see those numbers trending down. And you see on Thursday, we are looking at our best chance for showers. There's low chances Friday and Saturday. Let's talk about Thursday, though. We were really thinking on Thursday that this was going to be a band of rain that would set up shop in the morning, and then we'd see just some scattered showers later in the day, and we get some decent rain. Notice what happens here. There's 2 areas where there's heavier rain. That track has shifted farther north and west. So northwest Missouri, north central Missouri, up into Iowa, up into Wisconsin, and then down into the mid-south. That's where the heavier rain is. For us, we're talking about rainfall amounts struggling to get much more than 1/4 of an inch in some cases. Why is this all transpiring for us? Well, we look at the upper level pattern here. Got that upper level low coming off the California coast. There's a couple more troughs out here in the upper levels of the atmosphere. That is energy that fuels what's going to happen over the next few days. That system, as it pushes into the southwest, starts to create wider areas of rain and snow. By the time it gets into the middle part of the country, it's pretty much all rain for us, as we're going to be well too warm here for any kind of snow. But you notice the early morning hours here on Thursday through lunchtime, we don't see a lot of rain here. It's all to the north and west of us. During the afternoon into the evening, we have scattered showers that will drift through here. Some of them may have some gusty winds at this point. We do not see a big severe weather threat with this as of this hour, based on everything that we've been able to look at, even with the latest high-resolution guidance. What we can tell you is that it does get much colder going into the weekend, and by Sunday, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 30s for highs. It'll definitely feel more like January. So all day on Thursday, you at least have that potential for showers. I think during the morning hours, most of it's north and west of St. Louis, the potential for some wet roads. You may need a little more time and maybe some rain gear getting out the door. But the bottom line is there's not going to be a huge amount of rain for most of us on Thursday. In fact, most of us end up with less than 1/2 inch of rain, which we certainly could use more than that. And then you look at what we're dealing with as we push our way on towards the weekend. We'll have the clouds around, gusty breezes on Saturday, only in the mid-40s, upper 30s for highs on Sunday, and then it warms back up a little bit next week. Don't see any big opportunities for winter weather around here either anytime soon.
But tomorrow looks fabulous.
Tomorrow's
again.
pick day out of the next 7.
All right, Scott, thanks. Frank Cusimano's next with sports.
Mike, we have the story of a dynamic figure skater, a dynamic NFL head coach, and a dynamic college football quarterback coming to our state.
And right after this newscast, you can watch an all-new episode of Outside the Forecast on our free streaming app. Weather Impact meteorologist Lance Blocker explains why we could see more rain and snow the rest of the winter. Scan the QR code at the bottom of right corner of your screen and you can watch for free.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel is now available in Missouri.
So there are about 75 figure skaters at Enterprise this week. Only 11 of them will leave St. Louis happy. The U.S. Figure Skating Championships will determine who will make that first-class flight to the fashion capital of the world, Milan, Italy, also the site of the Olympics. And one of the women to watch will be Alyssa Liu. She has had a fascinating career. She became the youngest national champion ever at age 13. But that was not an Olympic year. She did make it to the Olympics at age 16 and finished 6th. She does things on the ice that few women have even attempted, and Alyssa is the 2025 world champion. However, the most amazing thing is that Liu quit the sport at age 16 and didn't skate for 2 solid years, and she has quite the personality.
2 of my friends are here at this competition, so I'm really excited about that. And also, coming to nationals feels like a giant reunion for all the U.S. girls. So it's been really fun to see everybody again because I don't get to see them very often. It feels like a camp here. My memories from like back then when I skated, they're kind of like cloudy. I don't remember much or kind of what my mindset was, to be honest, especially like after COVID hit. I have no recollection. I guess I'm more present now. I guess last time I was constantly daydreaming about quitting and what life would be like if I wasn't an athlete. Yeah.
The most important thing for a college football coach is to win. And the easiest way to do it is to win in the portal. Get a bunch of 22-year-olds who can play right away. Eli Drinkwitz lost one of those players in standout defensive end Damon Wilson, who entered the portal today. But he has himself quite a quarterback. Austin Simmons is an interesting story. He has an obvious intellect, graduating from high school at 16 and from Ole Miss at 19. He also has skills on the field. The lefty threw for over 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns in 8 games for the Rebels last season. But he was Wally pipped when he got injured and never got the job back. Simmons has 2 years of eligibility remaining. The best NFL coaching candidate is now the former coach of the Baltimore Ravens. John Harbaugh was fired today. His agent immediately heard from 7 teams. Harbaugh, who is 12th all-time in wins with 193, has coached the Ravens for 18 seasons. He will end up in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The Blues had one more practice this morning before taking on the Blackhawks in Chicago tomorrow night. And Jim Montgomery had some fiery moments as he's trying to get his team to a new best this season. Once again, they've won back-to-back games, but they haven't won 3 straight. One thing that has improved for the Blues is their goaltending. The tandem of Joel Hofer and Jordan Binnington have gotten hot lately, bitter with the shutout on Saturday night. Not only are Binnington and Hofer friendly competitors, they're also very supportive of each other. And I asked the coach if this is the best he's seen his duo play.
Yeah, besides some moments last year, yes. I mean, it's equivalent to it. They're giving us an opportunity. They're battling so hard.
We're all teammates here and then goalie partners. You know, I think the better we're doing and the more we're in sync, the better the team's doing, and we're getting points and we're getting wins. And, you know, it's definitely nice to have a good relationship.
So it's 2-0. Now some of the fans get into it. Bob Plager right up over the fence.
54 years ago tonight, the Blues had a night never to be forgotten. Bob Plager went after unruly fans, and Coach Al Arbour tangled with Philadelphia police. Arbour and players Phil Roberto, Floyd Thompson, and John Arbour spent the night in jail. But on top of it all, the Blues came back from a 2-goal deficit after the melee to beat the Flyers 3-2. And the late, great Bob Plager told me that he hid in the stall because he thought he was going to be arrested. What a night.
It was. Wow. We always remember that scene where number 5 is up in the stands.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Frank.
Attention Schnook shoppers, the big change for coupon clippers.
A Midtown bar and event center is closing. Work and Leisure posted on social media that they will be holding a final event on January 30th starting at 5 o'clock in the evening. That event is free and open to everybody. The center says they are closing because of the changing economy.
And it's the end of an era for Schnucks shoppers.
The St. Louis-based grocery chain will stop sending out ad mailers. Schnucks tells our partners at the St. Louis Business Journal that more shoppers are shifting to digital coupons. Ads will still be available in store. The last mailers will go out January 28th.
And Scott has one final check of our weather, and it's going to be nice tomorrow, so enjoy it.
Yeah, maybe go get some of those chicken breasts that are on sale in the ad this week.
Yeah.
You will see temperatures back in the 60s. Maybe you want to grill out tomorrow evening.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.